Welcome back, Kent Adams, and as we always do, almost every Friday, you've taken a Wednesday off here or there because you've had a class to teach or something like that. But welcome, Don Morgan, Independent Wealth Connections. How are you?
Kent, I'm great.
Good.
Thank you for having me again.
Yeah, good to have you. What is this, a summer outfit?
Yeah, the Don Johnson look.
Now, half our audience won't know who you're talking about, okay?
I won't name names, but one of my staff had no idea what Gilligan's Island is.
Oh, that's really sad.
I feel really old now.
Yeah. Well, my wife and I were watching one of the programs the other night, the Fixer Upper or something that's on House to Home channel, and there's a guy on there. And my wife said, he looks like somebody we know from many years ago. And I thought, who's just Gilligan's Island? The guy looked like Gilligan's Island. That's okay. Anyway, welcome. I know you want to cover several things, but I read yesterday, I think it was, and it caught my attention for today's show, that in the last couple of years, the startups of new businesses has reduced from about 14% to 12% down, which is a bigger percentage than just from 14 to 12 when you look at the numbers.
Right.
And we've talked before about many folks starting their businesses back in 2008, 2009, 2010 because they lost a job. So if we're going to do it, we might as well do it now. We have nothing to lose, right?
And we can't find a job, so let's start a job.
Exactly. So how does this all come together right now?
You know, there's lots of pieces to this, and it's a dynamic puzzle. It changes every day. One thing, wages are going up. So sometimes you're going to look around and say, look, if I can make $80,000 a year as a construction superintendent,
right?
Why start my own construction company, take all that risk,
yeah,
and have to deal with the government and the blah and the blah? The second part is the government. It is more expensive and more difficult to start a company today.
Yeah.
And so
I wondered how much that had to do.
There's an impact, and it's hard to
measure.
And the
story
that.
talked about the regulation.
Yeah, so some people may be starting up a business and just not bothering to go through the formalities of what the government says you ought to do.
Oh, okay.
And then it gets into a question of, for example, if I'm not suggesting you do this, but if you started dealing drugs on the side,
okay,
is that a business owner?
Yeah.
Now, by the way, the IRS
it's profitable apparently.
The IRS wants you to
until
pay
you get
tax
shot.
on that.
Yeah.
Well, there is that.
Yeah.
So there's lots of parts, and what I wanted to focus on. So I started my article out this week with it's easier to earn money than it is to keep it. And it's an old Yiddish proverb, and the question is it really easier to earn money today? And I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, some job categories are paying more, and people are being attracted to those jobs.
Right.
But you read about the fast food industry automating. So jobs are disappearing because of automation.
Yes. Yeah, there's one chain that's going to go to almost complete automation in anticipation of the $15.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you like that $15 per folks?
Well, some people are going to make more money.
Yeah.
Others aren't going to have the opportunity to get a job.
Yes. And those jobs, I'm sorry, at McDonald's serving hamburgers and so forth are not meant to be forever jobs.
No.
Okay.
They're great learning experiences.
They are great. And we've had candidates in here for Meet the Candidate, and I don't know how many of them have said they started at McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
They started at a paper route.
Bagging groceries.
Bagging groceries on all of that. And it wasn't the money. It was, what did you learn from that? I learned to show up. I learned how to interact with a boss and all of that. And that is so valuable, and probably more valuable than going from $12 an hour or $10 an hour to $15 an hour, because you're going to move up. That's just the pure fact of life.
You start at the bottom.
And we all did. Or you didn't. I know. You started as president.
I started below the bottom.
Oh, okay.
If my memory's working, and some days it does and some days it doesn't, I think my first hourly rate job was $1.65 an hour.
Oh, wow. I remember working for 37 cents an hour.
You're older than I am.
Yeah, much older, yeah. Well, I was paid more. I was paid a flat fee, but my hours came out to about 36 cents an hour.
Well, that's radio then.
Yeah, no, that was the YMCA way back in college, okay, because I loved what I was doing.
Right.
And that was part of it, and I got the great work ethic from that, of putting in the overtime and not expecting anything more than the learning experience, which I continued to move to become a professional YMCA director. because I wasn't going to stay at the 36 cents an hour. Okay.
You can make a lot of money at McDonald's, by the way. You can
Yeah.
make 6 figures a year at McDonald's.
Oh, really?
Oh, absolutely. If you get into upper management.
Do you have a phone number I can call?
Well, you got to work there for 10 or 20 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But if
I know
you,
people who have.
Yeah, absolutely. Coca-Cola. I mean, there's dozens of great companies you can go to and work for a long time and make a good living. But our generation is retiring.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect example.
Sometimes early retirement without a choice. The second thing that's happening is that people are going back to school. And we have incentives for people to go back to school. You and I pay taxes so that the government can give money to people to not work and go back to school. The disability numbers are staggering. People who have found the disability system, many of them honestly need it. Not all of them do.
I'll tell you, the lesson learned, and we've got to wrap this up because I'm getting told in my ear, if you go to the Social Security office, it's not folks my age.
Right.
It
right.
really isn't.
Right.
I'm the really minority
Yeah.
there. And I start to go, okay, wait a second, what's going on? And of course, we've had a president who's pushed, if you don't want to work or can't work, I put quotes around it, go get the disability dollars. Don, we've got to move on. We have a special guest coming in.
Aha.
Do you know who it is?
No, I don't.
It's more, yeah. In my ear, I'm getting more special than Don, and it's not a dog or a cat.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, it's our 5th congressional representative, Kathy McMorris Rogers, is here live in the studio. So I'm going to kick you out for someone who looks a lot nicer than you
I
do.
agree.
We're going to take a quick break while we make the chair change. And thank you. Thanks for coming in again
Always
today.
a pleasure.
And we'll be right back.